I froze in the hallway outside conference room B, coffee cup halfway to my lips. The voice coming through the speakerphone was unmistakable. Victoria Chun from Summit Freight Solutions, one of our biggest clients. Her tone was ice cold, the kind that makes seasoned executives shift uncomfortably in their leather chairs. I'm not renewing unless Alex is back in the picture. Period. Transition this relationship to your competitor if you have to. The silence that followed was thick enough to cut with a knife. Our account manager, Ryan, stammered something about smooth handoffs and relationship continuity, but Victoria cut him off sharp. Your new protocols don't mean anything to us. Alex Thorne knew our business inside out. He remembered my daughter's ballet recitals in Denver and our warehouse manager's knee surgery in Atlanta. That's not replaceable with spreadsheets. I slipped into the adjacent break room before anyone spotted me. Heart pounding. Alex Thorne wasn't supposed to be irreplaceable. He was the guy whose desk sat in the quiet corner near the server room, always in the same navy blazer. Voice never raised above a murmur. 3 years I'd been at Vanguard Consulting Group in Chicago, crunching supply chain analytics as a junior analyst, and I'd watched Alex operate like a shadow. No flashy titles, no corner office. Yet the biggest clients lit up when they saw his name on a call invite. He remembered everything, not just deal terms, but the personal details that built loyalty. Quarterly reviews weren't just check-ins. They were conversations about a client's son getting into Northwestern or a beloved golden retriever's arthritis treatment. The CRM system logged generic updates, but Alex's real magic happened off the books. Personal calls, handwritten notes, lunches where he listened more than he spoke. Those top 10 accounts renewed year after year, sometimes with expanded scopes, always with the quiet caveat that Alex stayed the point of contact. Inside the company, though, he was practically invisible. Staff meetings passed him by like he was part of the furniture. The new VP of Operations, Marcus Hale, didn't even register his name for weeks despite Alex's desk being mere feet from his glass-walled office. Marcus had arrived 6 months earlier from a struggling tech logistics startup in Dallas, where he'd supposedly boosted revenue by slashing headcount and enforcing strict documentation. Our CEO hailed it as fresh blood. The rest of us saw storm clouds. Marcus was all about metrics, Gantt charts, dashboards, 6 platform integrations. Anything not captured in real-time data was suspect, legacy risk. He called it gut instinct, inefficient. He scheduled endless audits, questioned every undocumented process, and brought donuts on day one while announcing a review of redundant roles. It felt less like onboarding and more like a siege. I started noticing the friction early. Alex never jumped into Marcus's innovation sprints or flooded Slack with buzzwords. He showed up for hallway nods if eye contact was made, but otherwise kept his head down, delivering results that made our retention numbers the envy of the industry. Marcus couldn't stand it. "Who's that guy again?" he asked me once, gesturing vaguely toward Alex's corner. "Client strategy," I replied. "Where's his pipeline report?" Marcus pressed. I didn't have an answer that would satisfy him. How do you quantify trust built over years of remembering someone's kid's soccer schedule? The breaking point came during one of Marcus's compliance sweeps. A minor onboarding glitch gave him the excuse to scrutinize everyone's calendars against CRM entries. Most of us had standard stuff, vendor calls, status meetings. But Alex's outlook was dense, recurring entries like call Sarah, lunch with David, follow up with Lisa. No deal IDs. No CRM links. No approval trails. Marcus's face tightened as he reviewed the printouts in a leadership huddle. He highlighted them in aggressive yellow, calling it a visibility breach and unauthorized external coordination. That evening, I lingered late and caught the confrontation near the elevators. Marcus cornered Alex, smug authority in his voice. "Explain these mystery meetings. You think you're above protocol? Alex remained calm, almost serene. Their client touchpoints, documented in the master agreements. Marcus pulled out his phone like he was ready to record evidence. Which agreements? I suggest you loop legal. Alex's reply was measured. Ask the clients directly. The elevator doors opened, and Alex stepped inside without another word. The picture of quiet confidence. The next morning, Alex's badge was deactivated. He cleared his desk into a cardboard box with the same composure he brought to million-dollar renewals. Marcus stood by the elevators, arms crossed, wearing the grin of a man who just eliminated a perceived threat. You've been running personal ops outside oversight, Marcus announced loudly for nearby departments to hear. Alex met his gaze evenly. You mean the clients who keep this company afloat? Marcus snapped back. That's not how we operate now. Alex handed over his badge. Then good luck operating. In that moment, none of us realized the full weight of what had just happened. Marcus thought he'd cleaned house. But the silence that settled over Alex's empty desk was only the beginning of the unraveling. By Friday morning, the office felt unnaturally still. Alex's chair sat vacant, his monitor dark, the small plant on his desk already wilting. Marcus strutted the floors, projecting confidence, while HR issued a bland internal note about role transitions. Slack channels stayed quiet until around 10:30 a.m., when the first external email arrived from Elena at Summit Freight. Where is Alex? We have questions on the upcoming renewal timeline. It was polite, but the subtext screamed concern. By noon, more queries flooded in. One client even called the main line, unusual because Alex had always initiated contact, anticipating their cycles better than their own finance teams. Then came the chilling message from Thomas at Riverbend Logistics. Our agreements reference Mr. Thorne specifically as liaison of record. Please confirm continuity. Ryan forwarded these to Marcus with escalating urgency flags. Upstairs, legal quietly requested Alex's archived emails and folder access logs. A young attorney named Claire began piecing things together. Pinging colleagues, did Alex ever reference direct retention agreements? The answers painted a picture no one had fully appreciated before. Alex wasn't just a relationship manager, he'd embedded himself into the contractual fabric. The discovery started small. Claire found an old PDF buried under mislabeled vendor files, a retention memorandum of understanding signed years earlier. Then another, and another. By Tuesday morning, 10 such documents surfaced, each bearing our company's legacy logo, fully executed by client executives and countersigned by Alex Thorne as strategic liaison of record. The language was precise and devastating. Each memo stipulated that Alex would serve as the primary point for all strategic communications, transitions, and renewals. Crucially, there was a continuity clause. In the event Mr. Thorne is reassigned, terminated, or removed from his role without 30 days mutual written notice, this agreement may be deemed null and void at the client's sole discretion. 10 major accounts, Summit, Riverbend, Apex Supply, and others, collectively representing over 60% of our recurring revenue, all carried Alex's signature as the binding liaison. Marcus had labeled him a liability. In reality, he was the linchpin. Panic rippled through leadership. Legal mapped the clauses against active contracts. The earliest renewal window loomed just 4 days away, well within the breach zone. Clients began citing the language explicitly. We do not accept substitute liaisons. Reinstate Mr. Thorne by close of business, Wednesday, or consider the agreement expired. Marcus attempted damage control in replies. We are managing internal transitions while maintaining service stability. Clients weren't buying it. One VP attached their own memorandum and escalated directly to our CEO's assistant demanding reinstatement, not replacement. Reinstatement. Finance began modeling worst-case losses. The CFO's team sent frantic messages asking if anyone had reached Alex. No one had. Alex wasn't posting on LinkedIn, wasn't taking calls, wasn't reacting. He was simply waiting, letting the consequences unfold. Wednesday morning brought the formal letters. The first arrived via urgent PDF from Riverbend's counsel, invoking the exact clause and giving 3 business days to reinstate Alex or face nullification. Then came Summit, Apex, and the rest, coordinated in language and timing too precise to be coincidence. By lunch, it was a full client strike. All 10 demanded the same: bring Alex back or lose the business. Marcus tried spinning it to the executive team. We're addressing client expectations through transparent succession planning. But the board wasn't convinced. Our CEO cut short a trip and returned visibly furious. A closed-door board call was convened with no agenda. It lasted under 20 minutes. Marcus emerged pale, hands trembling. The chairman's only audible instruction, overheard by staffers: fix this. Now. Shortly after, Marcus's CRM access was revoked. He tried logging in and got bounced. The system had been locked down from above. Meanwhile, the chairman placed a direct call to Alex, not through HR or Marcus, but personally. We never heard the exact exchange, but Alex didn't agree immediately. He let the silence speak, forcing them to sit with the reality of their mistake. The proposal email arrived early Thursday morning. Subject: Independent Retention Consultant Agreement, Thorn. Attached was a 7-page PDF, meticulously formatted, already signed by Alex. No groveling, no emotion, just professional terms. The fee structure on page 2 was triple his previous salary. No benefits, no equity, but complete autonomy. Key clauses: direct reporting to the board, absolute authority over strategic client retention, and explicit prohibition on oversight by internal management, including current executive leadership. It was clear Alex had prepared this well in advance, routed through a third-party agency. He wasn't seeking reinstatement as an employee, he was dictating terms as a contractor. The board approved within hours. The internal system quietly updated his status to Retention Strategy Consultant. HR issued a neutral statement acknowledging the partnership on a limited but vital basis. The real power shift hit when legal directed that Marcus Hale was no longer authorized to engage external clients. His access privileges were stripped, calendar purged of client entries. Slack designation changed to Internal Workflow Specialist. Marcus had gone from driving change to being sidelined in a non-client-facing role focused on optimizing back-end efficiencies. I saw Marcus pacing the hallways that afternoon, phone pressed to his ear, voice growing quieter with each call. Colleagues averted their eyes. No one wanted to acknowledge the man who had nearly capsized the company with his rigidity. Alex returned that Friday morning without fanfare. Same navy blazer, black laptop bag, to-go coffee in hand. He didn't head to his old desk. Instead, he walked directly to a newly assigned corner office on the executive floor, glass walls, independent network access, badge scanner restricted to board members and facilities. He entered calmly, set down his notebook, and drew the blinds. The atmosphere changed instantly. Sales teams began referencing pending Alex's input in meetings. Department heads deferred to him informally. Titles no longer mattered, trust did. Marcus was relocated downstairs to a makeshift workspace between IT and facilities, a folding table and artificial plant marking his exile. Alex passed me in the hallway near finance that week. He offered the faintest nod, expression unreadable, then continued on. In his silence lay the new order. Power flowed through relationships, not org charts. Weeks later, the boardroom felt heavier than usual. Alex sat at the far end of the long table, laptop connected to the wall monitor. No slides. No theatrics, just a clean calendar view showing 10 green checkmarks beside entries marked Client Continuity Renewal Confirmed. He let the image linger. The chairman nodded. We're stabilized, Alex spoke quietly. They've recommitted through next fiscal year. Contingent on my terms. A board member asked about caveats. Alex opened a subfolder revealing 10 freshly signed digital agreements. He highlighted Clause 7 in 1. In the event Mr. Thorne is removed, reassigned, or diminished in strategic authority without 90 days advance written notice approved by the board, this agreement shall be nullified at the client's discretion. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Alex hadn't merely returned, he'd fortified his position with ironclad protections. A younger board member chuckled nervously. That seems defensive. Alex replied simply. It's precise. Marcus, seated awkwardly in the corner like an afterthought, shifted uncomfortably. No one defended him. The chairman glanced his way once, but said nothing. The message was clear. Marcus had tried to erase the one person holding the company together and paid the price. Alex closed his laptop with a quiet click. He stood, adjusted his cuff, and addressed the room with measured calm. Next time, perhaps review the retention documentation more thoroughly. He walked out, leaving the weight of his words behind. In the days that followed, the office settled into its new reality. Alex's influence was subtle but absolute. Clients renewed smoothly. Internal teams adapted, routing client matters through him directly. Marcus's attempts at recovery, polite updates, feigned enthusiasm, met with radio silence. Even the interns stopped tagging him. I passed Alex once more near the elevators. His expression remained composed, but there was a quiet authority in his stride that hadn't been there before. He had never raised his voice, never sought the spotlight. Yet in the end, he redefined power at Vanguard not through force, but through the irreplaceable value of genuine human connection. The company survived, but the lesson lingered like a shadow. Systems and dashboards are tools, not substitutes for people. When you dismiss the quiet contributors who remember the details that matter most, you risk everything. Alex's return wasn't a victory lap. It was a reminder that true influence often hides in plain sight, waiting for hubris to expose its own fragility. What would you have done in Marcus's position? Or Alex's? The contracts are signed now, but the moral remains. In business, as in life, relationships aren't line items, they're the foundation. Ignore them at your peril.